It's that time. It comes only once a year, but it's amazing. That's right. It is time for Flashback Weekend 2022. This year is special because while I have attended Flashback Weekend 13 times every year since 2009, the convention was actually formed and started in 2002. If you can do simple math, you know that this is the 20th year anniversary of Flashback Weekend. So hopefully that's a good omen. Hopefully that means we have an amazing weekend. Robert Englund, like usual every other year, Robert Englund is the big celebrity headliner this time around. They have a huge chunk of the Nightmare on Elm Street cast that's going to be there, many of which I've met before. They're all great people. Now it's going to be a little bit different this year because, as some of you may know, my dad had open heart surgery back in June. He's feeling fine, he's doing really well, just out of an abundance of caution, he is sticking this one out just to be safe while his immune system just gets back up to par. So we will be hanging around with Bob and co for the majority of the weekend. In fact, I am even driving there with Bob for the first time ever, so it should be interesting. I think it's going to be a good weekend though, if it's any indication. A few nights ago, a friend and I were talking, and he led me to a Facebook page that was completely dedicated to Camrys getting rear dents. And it's literally just a Facebook page that's nothing but pictures of Camrys with dents in the rear. So, today I was driving to work to drop some paperwork off before Bob comes to get me, and what was I driving behind? A Camry with a dent in the rear! If that's not a good sign, I don't know what is. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Flashback Weekend 2022. This one right here, Hotel Lobby. Let me get the door for you, sir.
Thank you. Oh yeah, I remember.
Well, my room is kind of tucked in the back behind the stairs in this little roundabout. There we go, 908 9th floor. Voila, here we are. I've got a really cool corner room in the kind of that cylindrical part. Look at this. Oh, look at my view. Yeah, look, I'm in the other tower, the cylindrical kind of tower. Oh, that's cool. I got like this rounded room. There we go. So I got that. There's my little headquarters station. Bam, bam. It's weird being on a slant like this. Small but cute little bathroom with a very tiny shower. Definitely a single room. It's my bachelor pad for the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Alright. Remember last year we were playing elevator roulette, seeing which one we would get? This is for you, Diesel Doocy. The Great Glass Elevator of the Hyatt Regency. There I am. Here's our view.
Back Anybody want a beer?
Really? Your whole backpack
That's
would be.
because
He's never given me a beer.
you just had what you said.
I'll take him on.
Well, you didn't give it to him. He just took it.
I'm gonna take it.
He did have to twist my arm. Well,
You can't read. Are you?
we're all
fucking kidding
watching
me?
you.
Here?
Yes.
Do a little dance, Joe. Jump like it's hot.
So yeah. So hopefully.
Right next to Crown Plaza.
Right next to it.
There's like, I think it's a DoubleTree hotel. Crown Plaza, DoubleTree, and
Oh man.
Yeah, that's how you know it's a fancy restaurant. When the chef comes, he gives you a whole speech.
got my
Gibsons, we proudly offer Gibson certified Black Angus prime cuts. All of our steaks are wet aged for a minimum of 45 days. Really helps to tenderize the meat, bring out the flavor. Cooked in an 1800 degree infrared char broiler, putting a nice char on the outside, locking in all the flavors and the juices. Up first is our signature cut. It's a WR Chicago. It's a 22-ounce bone-in ribeye. Love the ribeyes personally because you get a lot of marbling and true crunch. Completely optional though. Some other toppings that you could do are horseradish or Parmesan cheese crust. You can do a milk.
Here we go right there, Bob. This is to 10 years.
I was gonna say
10 years.
10 years into Bob.
And to Bob, my dad. There we go. Flashback Weekend. So you think you got that whole baked potato by yourself, Bob?
Yeah, I will. I know I will.
Between that and yours, is that my New York strip? Yeah, that thing is massive. But just like Rob was saying, even the slice of cake here was like a foot.
Lake.
There's a village out by me called
Crystal Lake, yeah.
In the community camping area. I thought it might have been something.
Oh no.
What movie is that from?
Friday the 13th?
No, I don't watch those stuff.
He does have experience whitewater rafting in the wilderness and stuff, though. So not boring.
Like Deliverance?
Yeah, it wasn't like that one part in Deliverance though.
Right. When you use the phrase, you sure got a pretty mouth, the younger kids don't know what that is.
Because, you know, it was Tinley Park High School, and Ashlyn was in my graduating class, and we did a lot of the same programs and stuff together.
Interesting.
So you're her uncle?
Yes, her dad's my younger brother.
I can't believe it.
Everywhere I go, it's somebody. And he was only talking to us because your hat.
Look at my hat. I know where Crystal Lake is. Here.
Okay, just in case you couldn't comprehend what happened down there at Gibson's, we were sitting there and this older guy that was not our waiter he sees Bob's Camp Crystal Lake 1980 hat, and he goes, "Oh, you know, I've got a house up in Crystal Lake. You know, is there a camp near there that you go to?" Just completely oblivious that it was a movie reference, thinking it was Crystal Lake, Illinois here. And Bob had to explain to him, "No, it's Friday the 13th, and that's where we're from." And I said, I said where I'm from. He's like, "Oh, do you know so-and-so?" I was like, "Yeah, she was in my high school graduating class." And he goes, "That's my niece." Everywhere we go, it's just these cosmic connections. What the heck? Fantastic dinner, though. It was absolutely delicious.
He even gave me his business card. Uncle Donald! A sunny Friday morning in Rosemont. So apparently 10 and 11 are there's 2 floors in one.
Then you got this.
Yeah, that's the V is the top, like the rotating restaurant. So 10 and 11 are just the same number apparently. So we're gonna figure out how, because I see that right there. I don't know what. Because see, there's like.
How do you get to the 11th floor?
What room?
I don't know. Just curious.
Any corner.
Oh, any corner has
there is in the corner something. Not a way for a way.
But still, what's up there?
Let's check it out.
Maybe these are rooms. Yeah, look, there's an exit up there. These are probably rooms. Right above.
Let's check it out. We'll see. Here's right in the corner. Yeah, see, like that's how my room is. I'm like around that.
Yeah, they're all inside rooms.
Is this something? I don't know, is this just like a maintenance hallway?
Yeah.
Mattress. Yeah.
I should grab an extra roll of paper. I only got one. Well, I know where to come.
Yes, you do. You got the 11th floor. Since today's the start of the convention, just some of the stuff I brought. I don't know. I still need to decide if I'm going to have Amanda Wyss sign the Better Off Dead book or not. As some of you may know, I actually contributed to this book by setting up one of the interviews and leading to a crazy domino effect that ended up getting Diane Franklin the Ricky picture from the movie, my pictures in this movie. I've got a connection to this book, so I don't know. We'll see if I decide to have Amanda Wyss sign that one or not. I was going to have Catherine Mary Stewart sign this weekend at Bernie's poster. I always love Weekend at Bernie's. And I actually have a gift for Catherine Mary Stewart. Back in the 80s, she starred in a movie called Scenes from the Gold Mine, all about music. She played like a rocker chick. And this guy, James House, had a brief cameo in the movie as just one of the other artists. And he also sang 3 songs from the soundtrack, including the main song, Time Enough for Love. Well, those 3 songs, Time Enough for Love, Listen to My Heartbeat, and The Seeker from Scenes from the Gold Mine, were never officially released. However, I worked on this release alongside Andrew McNeese in Tasmania, and so I was just going to gift this to Catherine Mary Stewart. Just a cool little souvenir for her. 3 songs never before released from her movie. James House was in the movie. It's from the guy from the label, Andrew McNeese. So hey, that might be a fun little gift for Catherine Mary Stewart. This is for something tomorrow night, so I'll keep you posted on those. And then just autograph stuff. I could say we'll see if we get all these signed. Some of these are really obscure, like this Turbulence 3 heavy metal. And so we'll see Tracks, Get Crazy, Tremors, and Big Wednesday is one. I was going to have Robert Englund sign that. So, I'll keep you guys posted with what I ended up getting signed and stuff. But so there's a brief outline for what I have planned to get signed, and we'll take it from there. Yeah, this is a whole ordeal.
I didn't know about that one because I didn't see the whole D. Wallace thing.
You'll be thankful. Hey, I got 5, so it's like, hey, I'll take it. I want to comp it because that is just hand woven, handmade.
Except the sweater. except the blouse.
And she claims she had absolutely zero talent with drawing, but I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. This looks like a pretty spot-on replica to me.
Thank you.
There you go. Robert Englund's photo op went too long, got pushed back a lot. I did. I was supposed to meet Bob at Caddyshack 40 minutes ago. Alright, so I finally get here to Caddyshack and the waiter comes up, he's like, I know you, I remember you, I waited on you before. It's like the third time this weekend something like that has happened to me, dealing with some random employee. But you guys want to see my photo op? The one that we waited too long for, but I think it came out nice. Look at that, right there. That's good if you ask me. So, what's going on with all the Villains shirts?
It's International Beard Club.
The International Beard Club?
Yeah, it's a beard club. Does a lot of charity stuff around the world. So we're having a World Week here in Chicago.
I've seen a few different T-shirts already.
Every chapter, there's different chapters around the world. So there's over 150 some chapters right now. And Chicago is the host. I'm from Indiana. We have 3 chapters in Indiana.
I live in Crown Point, Indiana.
That's our northern Indiana, yeah, northwest Indiana. And then, yeah, we just go out and, you know, it's a brotherhood of bearded guys who do good stuff in the world.
The Brotherhood of Bearded Guys. What kind of charities do you guys service?
Whatever needs to be done.
That's
Certain clubs, certain chapters partner up with some things. Different chapters will have different events that they host during the year. So we have some that we've traveled to that have been down in Tennessee earlier this year. In Knoxville, there was an event. They raised over $10,000 for autism.
Oh, that's nice.
There was an event in Tennessee, in Nashville, for another Tennessee chapter that raised another $8,000.
Can I ask you, how is a beard competition judged? Is it just...
You have judges that judge it based off of thickness, fullness, length, how well it's groomed, if that's the category. Sometimes they have categories where it's like the worst beard. Or you've seen those guys that like, they almost super glue their beard in weird shapes.
Yeah.
They have creative things. There's a category usually for women that's or people without beard. It's called whiskerina.
Whiskerina.
You basically create a beard out of whatever you want. So there's all sorts of cool stuff.
Would someone like Bob here be able to join the bearded thing, or is his too short?
Well, it just has to be 4 centimeters.
4 centimeters. See, Bob, there you could be
Like a half inch.
you could be a charitable hero, Bob.
I got 3 OnlyFans, one for my feet, my hands, my dick.
Things they lay too heavy on your soul. Always a secret or a stupid fight. And it's a fact that we couldn't fight to our...
They're villains that do good charitable things. The bearded... We've officially seen it all, folks. We have officially seen and heard it all.
You know, kind of the lighter one. So, but I definitely had to get her an It one. That was her like scary movie for her. So
What they call Hollywood horror.
Right.
Well, we asked. Look at all the fire trucks and ambulances coming in here.
Yeah, I saw it.
There was an ambulance right before that.
Yeah.
No, there are these groups of guys. They all got beards, and there's different chapters from around the country in there, but they do charity work. Like they got shirts that say Bearded Villains, Northern Indiana. We saw Miami.
I wish I had. Oh, we just dug out early. I know. We were on a family vacation. That's why I don't have.
That's
There you go. And how are you doing, Fabian?
Oh, I'm doing great, Ken.
How's that drink for you?
This is a cranberry and rum because apparently their whiskey let me down.
The whiskey let him down.
Yes, the whiskey was just awful. I don't know what they used, but it was just terrible. On the other hand, if I'm drinking rum, no one will believe
Try me.
Okay, so in The Simpsons, in one of the Treehouse of Horror episodes, Homer, he finds out that these two presidential candidates, Bob Dole and Bill Clinton, were running for president and they got abducted by aliens. And after finding this out, the aliens start spraying him with some kind of concoction. Upon which he starts screaming, "Oh no, what horrible alien concoction are you spraying me with?" And they answered rum, so no one would believe your story. And that's one of the risks that you have when you're drinking rum, because then you start telling stories and no one's going to believe you.
Moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen, drink responsibly.
Absolutely.
You're like, why is something dripping on me? And you look at that vent.
Fuck yeah, brother, let's go! Well, they fucking rats kill it, Bill.
Yes, my name is Ken with a C.
Well, my son is Caleb with a K. How about that?
My name's not really Ken with a C. I've been instructed to tell specifically every woman I meet this weekend. I've been instructed to introduce myself in a flirty way as, "Hi, I'm Ken with a C."
I like it.
You can call him Sen.
Yeah, I like it.
And you're Whitney with a J.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we're a different con.
Yeah.
Completely different.
No, we fit HorrorCon.
Yeah.
You would fit in. You're like
Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. You'd be perfect.
Well, actually, yeah.
Well, we're both Resident Evil. I'm Stars, he's Umbrella.
Oh, yeah. You would definitely fit in.
Damn, guys, this was a really good day, especially for a Friday. Just the sheer amount of just new people we were meeting. Like, from Michigan, I want to give a shout out to Kimberly and Joe. From down south, central Illinois, I want to give a shout out to Whitney and Nick. From Nebraska, I want to give a shout out to Ashley. Lots of cool new people that we've been meeting. And some old friends from last year, like Fabian, he brings his new friend Phil. He was a lot of fun up at the Round Bar. And just every celebrity I've met has just been really outgoing. So just to show you some of my haul here for today and then tell you some celebrity stories. There's Catherine Mary Stewart, autographed my Weekend at Bernie's poster, and she was absolutely delighted with the James House thing. You know, I was telling her this is the first time the songs from Scenes from the Gold Mine have ever been officially released. And, you know, the guy from the label, it's like one of his favorite movies, and, you know, we want to give this to you. It's the first time Scenes from the Gold Mine, the songs, have ever been released. And her face lit up. She was so grateful for it. She absolutely loved it. So that was very heartwarming. And, you know, I got that Weekend at Bernie's poster signed. And then other autographs and the celebrity stories are pretty funny. We've got... So far, the funniest person to meet has been Brad Lorry, because he has a small role in Turbulence 3 Heavy Metal as the airline traffic controller.
Everybody out!
And oh my God, I walked up, I handed him this. He said, "You are the first person that's ever brought this to my attention." And he's looking, he's like, "Rutger Hauer, Joe Montana," and doing like a Joe Montana impression. It was really funny, and he told me apparently this movie was originally called The Gateway, and he said he was originally supposed to play Rutger Hauer's part in this, but then they swapped it because he was working on The Sixth Day or something. He was absolutely hilarious. He signed Turbulence 3. I have an autographed copy of Turbulence 3 Heavy Metal. That's good. And just like Tom Jones Jr., who played the new, old Dr. Loomis in Halloween Kills, he did the construction for the movie Tracks. So I'm like, I got the movie Tracks signed. You gotta love that. And my Robert Englund, used my line skip Robert Englund. He added to my Blu-ray of Big Wednesday, so now it's autographed by both him and William Catt. And Robert's an awesome guy. He's a talker. He'll tell you stories. He's very generous with his time about everything. We have Get Crazy, as I drop it, And Get Crazy is one of my absolute favorite. I saw this last year. It's one of the funniest things. It's signed by Ivan E. Roth, also from Night of the Comet, Night of the Creeps he was in, and super friendly guy. His face lit up when I said, "Are you Electric Larry?" And oh, he thought that was the funniest thing, and he said that the reason he wasn't credited in the movie was just because they forgot to credit him, and he was telling me about how they made the costume. A really nice guy. And lastly, Alex Winter signed my Blu-ray of Grand Piano, and he was very delighted I brought. He was a really cool, down-to-earth guy as well. And then just the weirdness, like you have this anime convention going on, but then like Bob and I go across the way to, well, and the Robert Englund's photo op got so backed up, but in doing so I got into talking to Ashley from Nebraska, which worked out because she was hanging out with us tonight, and Whitney and Nick, and then I run over to Caddyshack across the street where Bob had been waiting with a table, and there's a beard convention going on. Bearded villains in this charity organization, these guys with beards. I'm like, what? We've seen it all, man. It's just nuts. And so for a Friday, this was really fun and eventful, and as we welcome in Saturday here, we'll end out Friday by showing you, I'll show you some of the merchandise I got right here, and then we'll cut over to Saturday. So here's the Night of the Comet photo op. This one was really heartwarming walking up to it because all three of these people, as I walked up, Kelly Maroney, Ivan Roth, and Catherine Mary Stewart, all three of them went, "Ken! It's Ken!" Like, that was a lot of fun because they each had like a different reason to remember me from somewhere. Kelly Maroney also has done 80s in the Sand. Ivan Roth loved that I knew Electric Larry. Catherine Mary Stewart, I gave her the James House CD, and I think that came out great. I love the red background on it, too. I think that's a really good, sharp color for the photo op. And this one just turned out awesome. Look at that. Me and Robert Englund. You know, a lot of people were smiling. I'm like, why are you smiling? You got to play the part there. So he did not make that face for everybody either. All the other pictures I saw of him, he was just kind of smirking. He did not do that for everyone, so that was kind of a cool little thing. So yeah, with the Elm Street house in the background, I really liked that one. Then 3 Blu-rays. I got these 2 from Full Moon. These are 2 like kids movies from the early 90s, Pet Shop and Remote. They look so corny, so cheesy, but I love that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing how corny and cheesy these old Moonbeam Films movies. And then to support my good friend Jake Severin, who is my, as far as I'm aware, my longest standing YouTube fan, I got this Retribution from the late 80s. I've heard a lot of good things about this movie. It's supposedly really crazy and stuff. So I don't know, I look forward to checking that out to see how weird and crazy. I really don't know much about it, so we shall see. And with that, let's get some shut-eye and get ready for Saturday. Good morning, everyone. Alright, it's Saturday. Anyone that goes to conventions, especially for the entire weekend, everybody knows Saturday is the crazy day. It's the day everyone shows up for a single day and just the most stuff is happening, events, panels, blah, 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 blah. So there's a lot happening today. Saturday's the money day. So let's get this show on the road. You know, Thursday and Friday so far have just been so much fun. We've been meeting so many amazing people. Just having a blast. This is really a time and a half, and I'm loving every second of this so far. The registration line is down around, all the way around the escalators, all the way right there, and then all the way down the hallway over there. Yeah, shot on video was never something some of them a little bit, but that's just not a genre I ever really gravitated towards.
Some of the people that you have covered prior to your current work that you're working on.
Sure, yeah, and thanks for doing this.
Yeah, of course.
We go back to like, 2004 with that?
Yeah.
So it was H.H. Holmes was my first film, and he owned a building here in Chicago where he would rent rooms during the World's Fair and kill people, sell their skeletons. And of course now there's Keanu Reeves, who's this big news about that book, Devil in White City. And then my second film was on the elderly cannibal, Albert Fish, who he's most well known for writing a letter to the mother of one of the victims describing how he killed and ate her daughter. Very vile. And then after that was Carl Panzram. He was a lifetime criminal, abused in all these early American
feature and documentary films that have talked about him in the past.
Right, of course, there have been many, but a lot of these documentaries, what you would have to do is you would have to piece all these together to get an entire view of what Gacy did in the investigation. So my intention with my miniseries was to at least interview every person from one aspect of his life, from his birth to his death, or even now, actually, I interviewed the lieutenant who's still identifying some of the unidentified bodies. And I thought, well, this will be a historical piece for future generations so that you could just go to my miniseries documentary and kind of have a complete, concise idea of what the entire investigation and his character was. And that's the main thing. I wanted to interview people who talk about his character and the investigation. And literally, 95% of the people that are in it either met Gacy, arrested him, investigated him, or had something to do with him, but they all saw him face to face, and that was important to me too. And they're all still here in Chicago, except a couple, which I was looking at too. So, once COVID hit, I didn't have to really travel in that sense, so that was great.
And that's the interesting part, is that these aren't, the interviews aren't just people who are experts at Gacy. These are people, except with a couple of exceptions, these are people that all had direct contact with him.
Exactly, yeah, and towards the end, it's interesting too, like for the Menard prison segment, I have the Murder Metal Band Macabre. They went in there and they bought paintings from him, and they still have items that he gave them, like a pack of prison-made cigarettes unopened. Interviewed his art dealer, Rick Staten, who would go in and take his paintings and sell them for Gacy. Also Walter Jacobson, who was a reporter here, very famous. Karen Conti, his last attorney, and she's on a news station, I think, with Nick DeGiulio, maybe. Same station, I'm not sure, but again, you're right, and that's what the intention was. They sat across him, arrested him, investigated him, or were his attorneys, and that's what was most important about me. I do have several, true crime history experts or looking back on the case, but very important to have these people involved with him.
Did you, I don't want to give away, it's not going to be out for a while, but I don't want to give away any big explosive revelations, but did you learn anything unexpected or new or?
A lot. I'll give you one example. Who do you know when to go to when the truth tellers aren't telling you the truth? Sometimes it's ego-based. So I actually interviewed the arresting officer who stood in front of Gacy's cell, and Gacy drew him a drawing of a house with the crawl space and where all the bodies were. And he also showed him how he did the rope trick, and Gacy took his rosary and tied it around his wrist and showed him, this is how I strangled the kids. So then I interviewed him, and then I went to interview one of the sheriff's officers who was the first into the crawl space. So he talks about how he found the first bodies down there. And when I was talking to him, he says, well, no, when we found the bodies, I went back to the police station and I had the dirt all over me, and I said, Gacy, there's got to be more bodies, tell me where they are. And he showed me a drawing that he said Gacy made for him. So now I took that same footage and showed it to that officer, and he said, this is the first time I heard of this in 4 years. So that made me more fluffing himself up to say, look, I got this first, but no, because the other one was used in trial, the actual one. So that's the one I'm going with. So, it's interesting to see all these years later who may want to take credit for something.
So who are you loosely related to?
So my name's Dave Fuentes, and just to tell you what a small world this is, my ex-wife is Jack Boss's older sister.
That's right.
So my 4 children, Alex, Leah, Jade, and Luke, are first cousins with Jackson and Levi. And by the way, I still will say that Jack and Heather Boss were wonderful people, and nothing bad to say about them. I think they're fantastic.
Those of you who are new to the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, Nightmare on Elm Street 4 was kind of the franchise at its absolute peak popularity, craziness. what was it like to be cast in a new Nightmare on Elm Street movie, or to be coming back to do another Nightmare on Elm Street movie?
Oh, when I came back, it was so short, I never knew I got back.
R.I.P. Kincaid. How exciting was it to be cast in a Nightmare on Elm Street movie?
Okay, can
Any?
Oh.
Sure.
Yeah. It was interesting. I had a lot of callbacks. I had 7 callbacks to get the part. It took me over 2 months. Each time they kept saying, don't wear makeup. I kept wearing makeup. I said, please don't wear makeup. Finally, I was like, oh, don't wear makeup. And then I got the part, so.
You did it to yourself.
Well, yeah.
Like, okay, I'm just going to make it up.
And you can actually hear it.
Yeah, you can. And then they asked me to do a combo. Combo human/cockroach. So then I was like,
Sure.
Oh. He was a different director than Chuck Russell. They both was 2 different people. For me, I learned from both of them. Whereas Chuck Russell gave you time. When I first did Kincaid was originally written for a white guy, and so he allowed me to do some little things, to change some things, to add my little nuances in there. Because I told him a black guy just wouldn't say this. So, being a writer myself, I wanted to respect the writer. I had to get the permission for him. But Randy was okay because when we did 4, I don't know about you all, they didn't have a script. The writers was on strike.
Yeah.
So Rodney and I, when we went there, it was literally 1 page and a paragraph. And so he could have zoomed that in, but Zoom was there at the time. But, so he talked to us about what it was going to be like, and we didn't literally get a script like about a day before we was going to shoot. Of course, I didn't have to learn that much. But it was great. It was great.
How about the rest of
what I like.
And it's amazing how much it's grown and how many great things have happened and how the mayor is here. This is Don, the mayor, everybody. That's my man. Yeah, here you go. He's going to dance for you later. So it's been great, and I just want to give it up for Mike and Mia Kurz, everybody. This is a convention that is unlike most conventions that you go to, in that it's a grassroots convention put together by a family, not a corporation. And it started out really small, and it's grown ever since. And they love horror movies, and they love movies so much, the Kurz family, that whatever money comes in from this goes directly to keep film alive at their drive-in, the Midway Drive-In. So when the convention is over, they don't go out for a steak dinner. They fill up the popcorn machine at their Midway Drive-In. So give it up for that. I mean, that's... And that's been their mission statement since the beginning. I've known Mike for over 30 years, Mike Kurz, and I don't know a bigger lover of film and a bigger lover of horror movies than Mike. And just to watch this grow from the beginning to where it is now. Was anybody here back in 2002, the very first one? Bruce Campbell, world premiere of Bubba Hotep happened because of this convention. And over the years, we've had so many people come through, and I've been lucky enough to be a host for so many great events. Because of that, I got to meet and interview John Carpenter. Several times I met and interviewed and became kind of friends with George Romero. I now have Don Coscarelli. I can call him now on my phone. And Michael Baldwin and everybody from Phantasm. Over the years, so many great guests. And being a part of this convention for me personally is that I get to introduce this guy every year. I've known him for many, many years. I consider him a friend. One of the greatest broadcasters in the history of broadcasting. A legend in his own mind and ours. The one, the only, as I love to introduce him every year, and it's a special year. We got a couple of other things besides we're going to do the costume contest, which, by the way, are you here for the costume contest as well, right? Can I just tell you, always the highlight of every convention. I'm not kidding. Between the costumes and the guy I'm about to introduce, it's the most entertaining, like, 45 minutes that you'll ever see. Boy, I'm hyping it up. It better be good. Anyway, let me introduce this guy. He's a legend. Ladies and gentlemen, Rich Co's Sven Gooley, everybody. Hey, buddy. Hey, it's Rich. It's Sven, everybody.
Is this on? Oh, it is. Okay. I've learned to do that. You always have to go, is this on? Thank you.
Are you ready for the costume? It's always my favorite.
Year, yeah, and I'm glad you're here because, as I've said, I make some of my arcane jokes, and you're the only one who understands and laughs.
I wasn't here last year, and you were.
I was lost.
You hit a couple of dingers.
Yes, but I did mention you. I said it's too bad Nick's not here.
Oh, I'm looking out here at these are for the kids, right?
Who has been a distinguished journalist and is now the leader of the Rondo Awards, the chairman of the board, more or less. Please welcome David Colton.
David Colton from the Rondo Awards, everybody.
Thank you. Hey, Sven. How are you?
I'm good.
Presentation.
Yes, we have a special presentation. Sven Gooley has been voted favorite horror host an incredible 11 years in a row. And if his wife finds out. How many people here have voted in the Rondos? Absolutely perfect. And this is for favorite horror host of 2021. And I'm really proud to present this to you.
And people always say, you know, oh, you've won so many times, does it, you know, it probably doesn't matter anymore. But let me tell you, every time I see one of these and I win one of these, I think of the fact that it's, you know, you guys, the fans, who are making the decision. And, you know, we've talked before, that's the one thing that means so much to me. The reason I'm still doing this is because of all the fans who it means something to. And to get this again is just, you know, it's overwhelming to me. And I thank all you who vote, and I thank you, David. I appreciate it. I do have contacts, and you know, you gotta have contacts to get through this business. It's so nice to have you here, Nick. Thank you. And who's that? Oh my gosh. You walk up to the microphone there. Be careful. Why, you appear to be the brain that couldn't die. Is that correct?
Yes.
And your real name? Your real name is?
Aiden.
Aiden. And look at all that stuff. That is really amazing.
And also I watch you.
Well, thank you. That's nice. See that? More demographics of heads and pans. Watch our show. And here, turn carefully so they can see all this cool stuff. That's okay. Here. Look at that. That is really amazing. All right. Will you be able to walk that way okay? Thank you very much. Just don't talk to that thing in the closet. You remember that movie? Oh. Things in closets. I don't want to talk. Hi!
Hi!
How are you?
Good.
You're very cute. What's your name, please?
Isadora.
Isadora? And do you know where you live?
In Woodland.
Oh, very good. And tell us who you are.
A bat.
You're a bat. That's so cute. Here, step forward so they can take a look at you, please. Here, walk right up there and look at everybody. Here, go to the microphone so they can hear you. Who are you?
Come here, Sam.
Well, excellent. And I think I know who you're supposed to be. Yeah, exactly. This is Cousin It. Here, please step forward a little bit. Sure that something happened. I think we know, yes. It's Aiden, the thing that couldn't buy. But it is the thing that could win and did. Let's hear it for all our contestants, please. You guys did a great job. Thank you. And now,
Kids, go back to mom and dad's now, okay?
thank you all. This is, yeah. Hi. What's wrong?
Everything.
Oh, everything. Well, in that case. And what are your names, please?
I am Travis, and this is Vanessa.
And let us hear what you are exactly.
We are Danny and Christian from the film Midsummer.
Oh, wow. Here, step forward so we can get a good look. Watch out for the microphone, please. Oh, jumping. Let that be a lesson to all of us. Never drink Miracle Grow. Could be, you know. And next we have... Hi, you guys. What are your names, please?
Well, Sven, the name's old Jack Burton, and this is my friend.
Gracie Law.
It's Big Trouble in Little China. Here, step forward so we can see you. Well, we know we have to edit out of the program now. No, thank you very much. Nice job. Good look at you, please count. Go there. And next we have, oh my goodness. You're very tall, aren't you? Well, and tell us who you are if you can.
So I'm an Irish puka. So it's a cryptid from Ireland.
Sure, Migora. You're Irish, are you? You don't have any green on, do you? Well, you don't need it. Anyway, step up so they can get a good look at you. You know, these days you can still adjust those things on our head and still get UHF. No, there's digital TV now. See, I'm an old guy. I use old jokes. Thank you very much. Next we have... Come on, you... Yeah, okay. Every year, something like this happens.
Go ahead and ask
What?
them.
I beg your pardon?
Go ahead and ask them.
I guess I don't have to do the jokes anymore. Yeah, right, sure, it's on. Can you tell us what your real name is?
My name's Gizmo.
And I think we know that you are a definite gremlin, right?
Yes.
Thank you. First of all, don't feed him after midnight. Don't get him wet. And don't play basketball with him. He's very tall. Here, step forward so they can get a good look at you. Laundry's ready. Hello. Ma, you're looking familiar. Tell us who you are, please.
I'm Rowan. This is my dad, Jay.
Yes.
And I'm playing Beetlejuice. This is my lovely wife.
Well, that's perfect. Thank you very much. Once again, just like my jokes. Dude. We'll return to command performance in a moment, but first, what's your name?
My name's Sheldon.
And you are?
Eddie Munson from Stranger Things. Chrissy, wake up! I don't like this!
Real good. Step forward so they get a good look. You're getting feedback there. Thanks for the feedback. We appreciate it. Oh, boy. Hey, how are you? What do you do? I'm doing good. What are your names, please?
My name is Eder. This is my brother, Chet.
Nice to know. And you are?
We're brothers. We live in the trailer court, right? By the dumpster.
Okay.
This does not look like the Bon Jovi concert we're supposed to. I thought this was the t-shirt contest.
No, I don't think we got that either.
You want to?
I think I'll pass on that. Thank you. Here, step forward so they get a good look at you. Well done. Thank you so much. Everybody check the dumpster behind your place, please. Hello. He's got a chainsaw, but he obviously doesn't have a watch.
I think Sam Raimi took it.
I see.
How you doing?
What's your real name?
What's my real name?
Yes.
Chris with a K.
Chris with a K.
And Hamilton, like the musical, except I don't get any royalties.
That's okay. And you are, of course,
Ashley J. Williams.
all right, step up. You made it just under the wire.
Verata. Oh, I probably shouldn't read that out.
No, you probably shouldn't read that. Okay, thanks very much. Okay. All right, nice work, man. Yes.
Okay, you're following me, okay?
Okay.
Vampires, you're at the end of that round, okay? You're following me right now.
Gee, I wonder if any of them are going to play to the crowd. Wait till I announce you, for Christ's sake. The Gremlin. Midsummer. Art the Clown. The Beetlejuice Couple. Eddie Munson. Think about doing it next time. And our final contestant. Yeah, you can vote. I apologize. I have a bad memory. I apologize. I have a bad. Did I say that already? What? What? Remember that guy last year? Oh, you weren't here.
Stone Cold E.T. Stone Cold E.T.
Stone Cold E.T. Yes.
Yeah.
If you want Stone Cold E.T., if you can damn girl is so good, give me a hell yeah.
is cooking. Coming in at number 3, Eddie Munson. And number 2 is Art the Clown. I could have used that when people were swearing. You could have just beeped it out. Thank you. I appreciate that. And finally, I'm sure you probably realize this. The Gremlin.
Every time I watch that damn movie now, I've literally got tears in my eyes. I'm laughing so.
Oh man.
I just having him sign all 3 of them.
That would be awesome. If he ever comes back again, you gotta buy Turbulence 1, Turbulence 2. Just sign these for the hell of it and write everybody out.
Yeah, I have those brothers.
Oh man, that's great.
I'm literally crying right now.
It has like the.
Oh, you know, I think they moved away. It's because my mom was. She told me.
I just want to say it's really great being back in Chi-Town. It's great being back at Flashback. Unmasked! Yay! Huh? Well, some of us. Semi-unmasked. I've seen a lot of guys from Crystal Lake walking around. Dueling Jason's here tonight. Anyway, thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mia. This is great. It always feels like family here. And but I remember when we started out, you know, it's been 20 years now. And we're not as small and homemade as the beginning. It's really getting fancy, but in a good way. So everybody, party down!
Do you know what a really good SJW movie is though that you should really check out? It's called Turbulence 3, Heavy Metal.
Let me see this shit.
Yeah, it's called Turbulence 3, Heavy Metal. It's everything you just said. It's that movie summed up in a nutshell. It's amazing.
Nice.
It's got Joe Mantegna in it and Brad Lorre. He's the air traffic controller. You'll love it.
Oh, it came out in 2000, alright, yeah. Action disaster, alright. Oh, shit. Oh, God. That's not really what I'm going for, but it is pulling up. Snake feels like, I'm hiding with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
There is a beard convention happening at the Crown Point over there.
That is insane.
And we were thinking of you that whole time.
Did I tell you what happened when I checked in?
What happened?
Okay, so you know the 2 guys, right, from both bands. You have the guy with long hair and the other guy. The other guy plays actually.
10 years of friendship at Flashback Weekend.
And many more. Austin, we gotta walk her in. All right.
There you go. Come on in. 10 years, a decade of friendship at Flashback Weekend. Gary.
Best tribe I've ever been part of.
Hell yeah.
Go.
Hi, Dad. Hi, Dad.
Hope you're feeling better.
Feel better.
Flashback Weekend 2023 is going to be amazing.
Yes, it is. Get better, Dad.
You better be here. Gibson's waiters who don't know what Friday the 13th is. Turns out you know their nieces. Beard conventions. Caddyshack waiters that remember you from a year ago. Celebrities talking your head off at the VIP party. Lots of new friends, lots of first-timers. Lots of hijinks involving Turbulence 3 heavy metal. Well, tonight had a very interesting cap after all of that. There was a situation we kind of had to mollify in the lobby where there was a very drunk individual that had to be carried to the hotel across the street. That was interesting. But anyways, guys, this has been absolutely incredible. This has probably been the wackiest Flashback Weekend I think I've ever just gone through. Just to give you guys a taste of what was picked up today. Now for my dad, I asked him beforehand, what autograph would you like? Which one do you want me to get? And he requested PJ Souls from Rock and Roll High School. So I got him a signed 8x10 of her. And I wore this today just because I was trying to go for like an 80s look, 80s aesthetic for Flash. Well, when I flipped through her pictures and I saw she had this one where she's wearing pretty much that exact jacket, I had to. And so that was fun. We had a good laugh about that. The only other person I met that I added to my list was Ken Sagos, who was absolutely hilarious. I greatly enjoyed him at the Q&A. Looks up at the screen, why the fuck is my picture not on that? Really funny, quick-witted guy. And I was talking to him about an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia that he was in. So he signs my picture, fuck you, Freddie, I'm going to where it's always sunny in Philly. Like, I love that. That's funny. That's good. And I've turned Turbulence 3 into a big anomaly because there's a scene in there, spoiler alert, where Brad Lorry, the air traffic controller, the tower blows up and he goes, everybody out! And he like jumps backwards through the window. It's really weird. Everybody out! So I had him add to the signature, and he did it completely for free, which, you know, nice of him, and he was laughing, I was laughing, it's so funny. I had him write, quote, everybody out, on the dumbest autograph I think I've ever gotten, and it was amazing. The costume contest today was great, just hanging around. The ultimate VIP party, Ivan E. Roth was, you know, telling me, we had a very extensive conversation. I was hanging out with Catherine Mary Stewart, and she was just so gracious. I love Catherine. I'll have to get in touch with her. I send her some of the pictures and stuff. And then after that, I was hanging out with Ashley a lot, who I met Friday night while we were waiting in the Robert England photo line, and we hit it off, and we've kind of been hanging out since then. I paid for her lunch today. I know how to take care of a lady. And went out to the party bus, hung out with Bob, Aaron, Richard Diaz, Jerry, Andy, everybody. It's just been a weird weekend, guys. Beards, anime, Gibson's, Caddyshack, and just all the weirdness here. Turbulence 3 making a complete resurgence. My running joke being, hi, I'm Ken with a C. And then I meet someone, my son is Caleb with a K, and someone in the costume contest was, hi, I'm Chris with a K. Like, what is this fascination with obscure lettering of names this weekend? I don't know. But for the 20th anniversary of Flashback, I had an amazing time. It was crazy. Any time Robert England's here, it was absolutely, you know, it's gonna be crazy. But that's to be expected. However long he can even keep doing these things, like, who knows? Especially, but it's a 20th anniversary. Mike and Mia again put on an amazing show, and everyone I had as far as the guests go, this is one of the most outgoing, personable bunch of guests that I've ever been around. So I greatly enjoyed it. We'll be saying our final goodbyes, hanging out for like an hour or two tomorrow, just to say bye to everyone that we've seen. So yeah, it's been one hell of a weekend, guys. One hell of a weekend. There we go. Secret little control room. I don't really look over on this side too much. Look like a familiar setting? Well, that's all she wrote for Flashback Weekend 2022. Definitely the wackiest Flashback Weekend we've ever encountered. There's just so much story to tell. Just everything from Thursday night, we were at Gibson's and the guy looking at Bob's hat. Oh, I'm from the Crystal Lake, Illinois area. Where is that camp at? And Bob's describing the movie. Guy goes, oh, Deliverance? And then it turns out I know his niece. I ran into Jackson and Levi's uncle, who, like, on their side of the family. Caddyshack, the waiter, remembered me from last year because I look like David Byrne. That weird guy that went on the SJW rant and told me they should be gassed in concentration camps. Me telling everyone, hi, I'm Ken with a C, and then, oh, I'm Chris with a K, and I'm Caleb with a K, and all these different places started popping up. This weekend just taught me the world is crazy, the world is smaller than ever imagined, and it all started with me seeing a dented Camry. What do you know? Well, it's time to sadly put the ultimate finishing touch on this trip.